Hello again, everybody. It's Mark with the Presence Network. Again, I wanted to encourage you guys to visit the website. we're a group of very different people that have come together to offer some resources that we hope will help you in different situations in life. Wanted to just kind of go down through a few things. We offer general life care resources, grief support, caregiver support. One of the leaders of our group is a part of a hospice care group. So I just wanted to get a message out there to everyone that the Presence Network is more than just me speaking on a video about having to have a better faith walk or a better walk with God. That we really want you to reach out to the website presencenetwork.org, thepresencenetwork.org, not presence. You got to put the in front of there, thepresencenetwork.org. You're going to find a lot of really good resources. And along those lines, I wanted to just share a little story about my life and just hopefully tie together the Presence Network with what I'm trying to do. I realize I go in pretty deep sometimes on some of the things that I have personally studied, some of the things that I personally believe that I think could enrich your life. And really, I have focused on the seekers out there, those who are really looking for something in their life that they either haven't had or they were on one track and realized they needed to regroup and retool. That's kind of been my focus. And I realize there are times when we can go a little deep. So I wanted to share a simple story with you, and that is of my personal life where I had to take care of my mother with dementia. One of the resources that we have on the Presence Network is that of grief support, but also caregiver counseling. When we're taking care of a loved one, man, it puts a lot of stress on you. It puts a lot of pressure on you, and you're only human. I don't know how else to say it. You're going to go through times where you need help, not just physical help, like going to a grocery store. Hey, can you watch my loved one for a little bit while I run out? But it takes a real emotional and spiritual toll on you. And while I believe some of the things that we will discuss in our YouTube videos are going to be helpful in building you up as a person and building your faith and your walk with God, we also recognize that there are just the very practical things in life that you need help with, and we want to offer resources for those situations. But getting back to the story of my mother, she was a very, very difficult woman to deal with when she was okay. Her and my dad got married. That was my father's second marriage. And even though we lived in a Christian home, man, it was my mother just did things that did not jive with what I was taught to believe as a Christian. As time went on, my dad got sick and he passed away. About the time he was in hospice care, we started to realize his two daughters from a previous marriage, my sisters, and myself, started to realize my mother's behavior was a little off. And while the hospice care workers were there, they started to share with us that my mother was giving my dad too much medication. And when you're on morphine for pain, that could be terrible. She was just not making sense cognitively. And forgive me, but my mother was always a little off, so we really didn't think much about her crazy behavior because she tended to be a little erratic. But when I realized I was going to have to take care of her and I was going to have to move her into my home, that took a tremendous toll on my life, on my marriage, on my children. They were towards the end of their high school life, so they were still at home. I ended up taking care of her for a good 5 years after the kids graduated. And it was tough. I was running a business. I had, people that I was helping out. Running a business alone takes a toll out of you. And, having to make sure she got fed and having to make sure I had someone there when I couldn't be. And, my wife at the time was working. It was difficult. And, I leaned on my faith for that. I leaned on some of the things that I'm sharing in these videos to get me through that. And look, we realize that not everyone is at the same place in life. And you may be one of those that got thrown into a situation that you didn't ask for and you weren't prepared for. And we hope that building this network of very diverse, very multifaceted, talented people, that we can find something to comfort you, to give you tools and resources, just good old simple advice on how to do things and how to handle things. That's what we're trying to create here. And like I said, I know when I was taking care of my mom, it was terrible. I loved her and I did it with joy, but I came from a place where I didn't even really have a good relationship with my mother, but I did it because I believed it was the right thing to do to take care of her. My sister, I had said my dad was married before, so my full sister, my mother's daughter, was just, she still had kids that were younger than mine, and it was going to be more difficult for her to deal with it. So I took on that burden and that responsibility. And again, I was happy to do it, but I can speak firsthand to knowing that weight and that pressure that it brings to your everyday life. So we have resources on the website that we hope will help you. And we have so many ways to express our desire to help you get through these times of need. And I just wanted to throw that out there because, again, I realize that there are parts of the network that are going to be diving more into faith-based things. There are going to be parts of the network that just deal with some practical, everyday things. And I am of the opinion that you can kind of combine all of that and really, come to a bigger, fuller picture of how to just deal with life in general. Because as I've said before, man, this life is not easy. The world is not easy. And, I would love to just believe that every single person out there has everything when we're born that we need to get us through this difficult life, but we just don't. And part of the idea behind the Presence Network is by people being present for others, hopefully you'll find God's presence in all that, or a higher power, or whatever it is you're wanting to believe. We want to bring you to some conclusive places in your life, if I can say it that way. So I bless you today. And if you're in one of those situations where you're just struggling, know that there are people here that care for you, that want to help, and that we have resources available to you. Be blessed and have a great day.